بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا الشمس كورت وإذا النجوم انكدرت وإذا الجبال سيرت وإذا العشار عطلت وإذا الوحوش حشرت وإذا البحار سجرت وإذا النفوس زوجت وإذا الموءودة سئلت بأي ذنب قتلت وإذا الصحف نشرت وإذا السماء كشطت وإذا الجحيم سعرت وإذا الجنة أزلفت علمت نفس ما أحضرت فلا أقسم بالخنس الجوار الكنس والليل إذا عسعس والصبح إذا تنفس إنه لقول رسول كريم ذي قوة عند ذي العرش مكين مطاع ثم أمين وما صاحبكم بمجنون ولقد رآه بالأفق المبين وما هو على الغيب بضنين وما هو بقول شيطان رجيم فأين تذهبون إن هو إلا ذكر للعالمين لمن شاء منكم أن يستقيم وما تشاءون إلا أن يشاء الله رب العالمين.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Hold on one second. Let me mess with this light real quick. Hold on, y'all. Hold up. But if you can hear me in the chat, let me know. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat. Give me 1 second. Hold on, y'all. Okay, all right. Still a little dark, but it's all good. I am not the focal point anyway. What's up? What's happening? Happy Friday. Let me know if y'all can hear me. You got me, Kimber L. Bay. What's happening? What's going on? All right. I got my family up in here. What's going on? Appreciate you, Sharita. I can hear you. Juma Mubarak, Janine B. What's happening? Everybody click the thumbs up button for me. Let's do that first. The Asiatic was in here early. I saw you on the back end when I was in the studio. Appreciate you. Definitely appreciate you. Again, make sure you click the thumbs up button for me and whatnot. So we can get this party started. I don't like this. It's giving me a little haze right here. Hold on. Give me a second, y'all. Let me see. That's cool. I can be a little bit in the dark today. That's all right. And then this over here. Like that. All right, cool. All right, man. Let's go ahead and get this party started. For one, excuse me in advance if it gets choppy. I am tapping into a network box that is downstairs and across the hall, right? Because I ain't put the internet back over here yet, where it really was right there. I haven't put it back over here yet. So inshallah, we'll be able to have a smooth conversation. If it gets choppy, please understand why. Number two, first, let me say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Sallallahu Allah, Ali, and Muhammad. And now we're going to introduce, seriously, the may Allah be pleased and with the black women, these mothers and wives who were intentionally sought after. Let's talk about it. Who were intentionally sought after in order to change the, what we would call the caste, the political construct, the caste of within Islam. Let's be specific, where we're going to stop this Arab dominance. You know what I mean? Just because you Arab, or just because maybe you even Persian, right? You get to be the rightful heir or gatekeeper of Islam. We have to thank the sixth Imam, Jafar al-Sadiq, who started this, which we're going to get into, who started this new motion, this new trend, in a sense, for lack of a better word, to specifically look for a black woman. So they could be the mothers, so they could be the gatekeepers and the transmitters of the true Islam. I don't say this lightly, because what I'm going to show you is a quick history on what happened, the demise, the persecution of the original Islam, and then as a safe haven, as a protective mechanism, along with instituting change, seeking out the black woman who is going to become that safe haven and this transmitter of knowledge, and that is going to shift the power back to its original foundation, its original mother. Islam's original mother is Hagar, the wife of Abraham, or we call Ibrahim, the Egyptian. There's no quarrels about that. This is what stands in the Bible. This is what stands in Quran. This is what stands in history. Yes, she's the mother of Ishmael, who's basically the first prophet of Islam. So going back to the black woman is taking Islam back to its original source. And that's a little different, because I was never taught it. But you know, you grow up and you just don't hear certain things, and then you get these misconceptions, even, or even purposeful propaganda. Because the Islam that I'm talking about is really Shia Islam. I know growing up, and shit, not even a year ago, possibly, you know, you'd be like, hold on, the Shia, they the radicals, they the crazy ones. You know what I'm saying? Why? Why is that so? Why is that? Another thing is, when something or someone is persecuted, oppressed, you need to really get to the source of that, because it's something that is there that somebody do not want to see prosper. Yes, something that's there. All right. So again, we're going to get into that. Click that like button so we can have an awesome conversation and alert everyone else. All right. All right. So here's some quick history. This is going to be in two parts, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we're going to get into a quick history, some persecution, because that is why the black woman was sought after. So you have to know this part. Okay. Trust me. It ain't going to be long, but it's going to be great. Okay. All right. So what you see on the screen, the first number is the age that the Imam became the Imam and became the Imam within their family. Okay. The second number is how long they were the Imam. Okay. So when Ali became Imam, he was 33 years old. He will be Imam for 28 years. You add them up together, those two numbers, you're going to get the total number of their age. That's irrelevant for this conversation today. Okay. So when we come to Ali, his son Hassan was 39 years old when he became Imam, and he had it for 8 years. Hussein, 46 years old when he became Imam, had the Imam, held the title for 11 years, and it goes on and on and on. Now, if we were to tally up these 11 Imams, their average would be 27 years of age that they lived to be with their father. 22 years of age will be the average that they ran or was, in power as Imam. Okay. But notice Muhammad al-Jawad and Ali ibn Muhammad, whose first number is 8. They became 8. They was Imam at 8 years old when their fathers died. Those are what we call in math outliers. They're like 8. We still saw 33, 39, 46, 23, 38, 31, 20, 35, 8. That's an outlier. Yes. So before that drastic drop, that's why that line is there. When we get to Ali ibn Musa, we see the average age was 33 years and then 23 years of being the Imam. Now, this means, ladies and gentlemen, and let's just call it 27, 33, rip in that pocket. Yes. These sons live to be 27 to 33 years old on average with their fathers, because all of these are sons. The first father is Ali, and then everybody else is going to be a son. Hassan and Hussein are brothers, though. So everybody after Hussein is going to be a son. Okay. Now, again, we're talking 30 years with your father. There's information that is being conveyed that is not in the public, and it's coming from the family from mouth to ear, which is you're going to see it's going to come to the women. Okay. So this is important. This is just an important thing to note, that these gentlemen are living 30 plus years with their fathers, getting information before they step into the role of leadership. Another important thing to know, Ali at the top is the only one who ran the caliphate where all Muslims said this is the leader. After the death of Ali, where you see Hassan, Hussein, and everybody else, none of these sons, none of them ran the political empire. They were shunned. They were persecuted. They were killed. They did not take political authority. At the death of Ali, here comes what is known as the Umayyad dynasty. They do not like the family of Ali, and which is the family of the Prophet. They don't like this. So these imams that you see, they're just like an imam in their city and at the local masjid. They do not have a seat in the governmental power. Okay? That's important to understand that. All right. Now, I have to give a special shout out to Dr. Saeed Ammar, because in my journey of figuring out, I don't know how I got to him last year, but in my journey of figuring out the enemies of Islam, I came across his video. I'm going to show you some of the things that he presented. I was able to, he's saying some stuff. I'm like, hold on, let me go look into this. Right? Hold on. You just can't say some stuff. Hold on, let me go look. And I'm like, I be damn. A big thank you to this bro. I love to interview him. Big shout out to Dr. Saeed Ammar, who is showing you facts on the record. All right. I wouldn't have got here if it wasn't for his research. In fact, I'm gonna go back to him because he makes a statement, and I wish I would have screenshot it, but I was watching so many videos, I forgot which video it was on. But I'm gonna paraphrase, and he said, you know, if you want to learn the esoteric, the cosmological, the spiritual aspect of Islam in the Quran, there's only one school that has it. And I said, oh, that's a big claim. And he said, it is the Shia. I said, that's very interesting. What about the Sufis? Right? I said, that's a very interesting claim. Anyway, the Quran does say, this is what the Quran says. Indeed, it is surely a Quran noble, in a book well guarded. None touch it except the purified. This is in the Quran. So, you know, good and well, it's not talking about, I can put this book outside and a homeless person could be, let's just say, if we think this is physically dirty, they can pick it up, throw it in the trash. So we know good and well this verse is not talking about you are not able to touch the book physically. It is talking about none can really touch it intimately, because the word for touch absolutely means intimate, an intimate touch, which means coming to an intimate understanding within, to become one with it. Yes. So anybody who pick it up, anybody can pick it up, but can you grasp what's in it? And this is a beautiful tease for a holy scripture to say, none can grasp it except the purified. Telling you, you must go through a certain process in order to understand what's in it. Because what you looking at on the surface, you don't understand it. Ooh. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. That's in Quran. Okay. As I shared before, it is said that Imam Sadiq in the middle, the book of God has four things talking about the Quran: a literal expression, illusion, subtleties, deepest realities. The literal expression is for the common folk. The illusion is for the elite. The subtleties are for the friends of God, and the deepest realities are for the prophets. This is what it said. So the sixth Imam, Jafar al-Sadiq, says, hey, this has four different meanings. Remember what I shared with you? That Ali said that the prophet, or Ali said he can fill 70 camels with different interpretations of just the first chapter alone. And when we go to Google and we say, how many books can a camel carry? They say 500. Oh, snap. That's 35,000 books or interpretations of chapter 1. We only got this one right here. That's 34,000 and what? 999 other books or interpretations just off chapter 1. Okay. All right. Again, salute to my bro, Mustafa Briggs, for doing the work called Beyond Bilal. He's the one that put me on to these imams had black wives. I said, oh, no, you can't say that. I have to go see. Let me go see. And sure enough, those searches was coming back as confirmed. I did a presentation called The Black Mothers of Islam in Arabia. You need to really go check that out. In fact, I'm making my duty this weekend to create a playlist, because I realize I do have a nice little series that deals with women. Whether the Black Mother of Islam, the Black Mothers of Islam in Arabia, two totally different things. The first and oldest university, still stand to this day, is in Fez, Morocco. Still stand to this day, was founded by a woman. Okay. Man, Black Woman Soulmate, The Night of Power, Layla Qadar. Layla means a woman's name. Fatiha, the opener, showed you those first 6 verses out of 7 is reference to a woman. Yes, the word Lord, Rabbi, actually translate to mean a woman ally. Yes, I've shown this. So I'm going to put a playlist together that deals with the women's series in Islam. All right. All right. So you should check these videos out. And here it is from Mustafa Briggs' book. He said Jafar al-Sadiq himself, who was considered the 6th Imam in the Shia tradition, married an enslaved Nubian woman named Hamidah, who he freed from slavery and taught. She attained such a high level of knowledge that any woman who would come to study with Imam Jafar would be sent to her student, right? Will be sent to be her student. She bore him a son, Imam Musa al-Kadhim, who became the seventh Imam, who also married a Nubian woman and also had a son named Ali al-Ridha. He followed his father and grandfather and married an African woman, as did his son Imam al-Jawad. By the time we arrived to the 10th Imam, Muhammad al-Taqi, this branch of the Prophet's family is as black as can be, with Muhammad al-Taqi being genetically 94% African and his son Hassan al-Askari being 97%. This reality is disappointingly displaced in most popular Shia iconographies that depict the 12 Imams, often resembling the Persian Shia more than African Imams that they were. Okay. Again, I did a lecture called "The Black Woman is the Mother of Islam." You should really check these out. All right. So now let's get into Hadith al-Qissa. The people who you see depicted here, ladies and gents, are Prophet Muhammad, his daughter Fatima, which will be her husband, which is his son-in-law and cousin, Ali, and their two children, Ali and Fatima's two children, Hassan and Husayn. Okay. Now, let's read this hadith. The hadith says, Allah only desires to remove impurity from you, O al-Bayt, which is the family, and purify you thoroughly. The Prophet was at my home. He called Fatima, al-Hassan, and Hussein and placed them under his cloak. Then Ali came and placed him under his cloak too. The Prophet then supplicated, "O Allah, these are the people of my household. Remove impurity from them and purify them thoroughly." Okay. And this comes from his wife, Salma. So she bears witness. There's another hadith from Fatima. I mean, not Fatima, from Aisha, that says the same thing. So he comes out with Fatima, Ali, Hassan, Hussein. This is my family, Allah. Purify them. That's what he says. Okay. All right. Moving on. Then the Prophet says, I leave behind for you two weighty things, the book of Allah and my family. If I can't say what the Prophet should have said, but Umar used to do it, so I'm gonna make an excuse for myself. He should have gave you an if. Should have said, do it. If you hold fast to them, you will never go astray after me. Yes. So now this is sort of like the Prophet's final instructions. The Quran and my family. The Quran and my family. Another hadith reads, I leave two weighty things. The Quran, my family, my family, my family. He said family 3 times. So the Quran and the family. Okay. All right. Now, this is the classic separation between Sunni and Shia. And I must say this. I have to say this. And I'm going to say this with mercy, because when you don't know, you don't know. And it's okay. Sometimes ignorance could be bliss. Ignorance can be bliss sometimes. But once you know, I believe you have a moral obligation. I believe that you can love the works of the Prophet and not know the history of what happened after his death, who he went to war with, who hated him, and all those things. And you can just read about all of the good qualities of life. That's fine. But once you come into a truth and go into a history, because to me, I'm one of those persons that I like to know what I'm getting into, because I want to embrace it and I want to love it because it has my interest. I don't want a blind spot in it that's ugly that will possibly deter me from loving it. And I find out that, oh, he was a reformed Ku Klux Klan member. I would like to know that first. Okay. All right. So I believe that as a Sunni Muslim, you have an obligation to investigate these historical truths. And I dare say, once you come into the knowledge and validate these historical proofs, I can't personally see for myself, I will have to be honest, for anyone else for that matter, to justify being what you would call Sunni. Because this is not the group of people who followed the Prophet in the original teachings of Islam. In fact, don't even say follow, they flat out murdered the Prophet. And you have to make a decision, it feel like, because either you love this Prophet as a prophet and you're going to follow his instructions, or you're not. And you're going to be blind. And technically, who is leading you, especially if Islam got hijacked and infiltrated? And that happened. Okay? All right. So history says, or modern day says this. It says most Muslims are 85 to 90% Sunni, with 10 to 15% being Shia. Ain't that something? 85 to 90% Sunni. When you start looking in countries, they say the Sunnis is most, the Shia is most popular in Iran, then Iraq. Yes. And I say, well, that's interesting because, again, these are countries that the West seem to demonize. Very interesting. It's very interesting. Noted. Okay. Duly noted. Now, the Prophet said this: I am the city of knowledge, and Ali is his gate. Okay. Then he says, there is someone among you who will fight for the interpretation of this Quran, just as I fought for the revelation. We all looked around, Abu Bakr and Umar included, and the Prophet said, no, but it is the one who mends the sandals. And he pointed to Ali. I leave behind you two weighty things, the Quran and my family. Ali was a part of this. Oh Allah, protect my family, purify my family. Ali is a part of this. I am the city of knowledge and Ali is the gate. Somebody's going to have to fight for the interpretation of the Quran. No, not you, Umar. No, not you, Abu Bakr, who is going to become the first leader after the Prophet, Abu Bakr, and the second leader after Abu Bakr's Umar. Not you two going to fight for the interpretation of the Quran. Him over there tying the shoes. Ali, who is my family, who is also the gate to knowledge. Come on, man. I'm not no Islamic historian. I may be an enthusiast about certain things, but I'm not a historian. And don't take rocket science to see what's going on here. Okay? All right. Let's keep on cooking. So then we get to, let me see. Ali lived with the Prophet for roughly 32 years. Let's establish their relationship. 32 years. This is the cousin of their cousins with one another. And Ali is going to marry his daughter. Okay. All right. So for 32 years, they together. And Ali is the first male convert to Islam to accept Islam. Okay. Because he lived with him. Okay. Now, here is a hadith from Salma. Salma is my favorite wife of the Prophet. I heard the Messenger of Allah say, Ali is with the Quran and the Quran is with Ali. They will not separate until they return to me at the Hawd, which is basically the basin on the day of resurrection. So I am a city of knowledge. Ali is the gate. Someone's going to have to fight for the interpretation of the Quran like I fought for the revelation. It's him, Ali. And now a wife says, I heard the Prophet say that the Quran is with Ali and Ali is with the Quran. Okay? Okay, let's keep on going. We're going to make it simple today. We're going to make it simple. So here's a hadith, and this is a Sunni hadith. Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim are the two most authenticated Sunni hadiths that they say this is official. That's what the Sunni schools say. You are to me as Aaron was to Moses. Whoa. 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 Well, this is what I remember. I remember in a hadith, you said, the prophet says, hey, I went to the seventh heaven. I saw Adam. Then I saw John the Baptist and Jesus on the second heaven. The third heaven, I saw Joseph. The fourth heaven, I saw Enoch. The fifth heaven, I saw Aaron. The sixth heaven, I saw Moses. The seventh heaven, I saw Ibrahim. Wait a minute. So if Ali is your Aaron and your Moses, and when you go through your ascension process and you see Ali on the fifth heaven, then the logical question is, when you leave this physical body, who should be in charge? But I also find it interesting that the history, as we see at the bottom, Aaron's line, Aaron, Moses' brother, and his male descendants were specifically chosen to be what? The priests, performing the sacrifices and leading the rituals in the tabernacle, in the temple. So Aaron's bloodline was the priesthood. Those people were spiritually in charge of the rest of the Levites. So if you're Musa and you're no longer here, then who shall we look forward to? Who shall we look to? Come on, man. It's obvious. This is obvious. Okay. So now here is the farewell speech of the prophet. And he said, whoever I am his Mala, protector / leader, then Ali is his Mala. He then prayed, oh God, befriend the friend of Ali and be the enemy of his enemy. Whoa. 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 I dare say this, Sunni Muslim. You cannot. I'm going to tell you what you cannot. Let me tell you this. You should. Can I say that? It's probably equivalent. If you don't shed a tear, I dare say we have not become compassionate enough and merciful enough. But I'm going to stick with compassion. We haven't become compassionate enough to be able to feel when I show you this history. Because we see a prophet coming and he says, hey, the Quran, my family, you won't be led astray. Follow this. Oh Allah, purify my family. This person, this is my Mala. If I'm your Mala, this is your Mala. I'm Moses, you Aaron. I'm knowledge, you the gate to it. Yes? Okay. All right. Get ready. Because he said, if you hold to them, you would never go astray after me. You would never go astray after me. Befriend him. Whoever is his friend, be their friend. Whoever is the enemy of Ali, be his enemy. Yes? So now, from right to left, this is the succession of what happened after the prophet's death. Abu Bakr, yes. Umar, who we know had a change of heart, alhamdulillah. Umar was an enemy to the prophet. You open up another window right now and ask this question. Did Umar slap his sister for reciting the Quran? Not only did he strike his sister, he also struck her husband. He come in the house and they listening to the Quran or reciting the Quran. He's an enemy to the prophet. He slapped his own sister. Later had a change of heart. He'll also be the one to change the calendar. And the prophet said, beware, the disbelievers are attempting to change the calendar. I haven't heard the Shia address that. Uthman, traitor. The Prophet banned people, kicked them out of the city. Uthman, they were family members. When he became caliph, brought them back, and not only did he bring them back, he put them in positions of power. The Muslims of Egypt was furious and killed Uthman. Look into it. I showed this before. Then Ali. Why is Ali number 4? So now what happens is the Sunnis say we follow the rightfully guided caliphs, the Rashidun, the rightfully guided caliphs, and there Abu Bakr's number 1 and Umar's number 2 and Uthman's number 3, and then there's Ali number 4. And I'm like, wait a minute, no. The Shia says no. The Prophet left specific instruction saying, the Quran I leave you and my family. Praise Ali that we just saw. Yes? Why is he number 4? And was he always number 4? And again, thanks to Dr. Saeed, because he was not always number 4 in the literature. Let's go to it. In this regard, we take the hadith of Ibn Umar. We used to consider while the messenger of Allah was alive and his companions widespread, Abu Bakr to be first, then Umar, then Uthman, and then we remained quiet. So in early literature, there is no mention of Ali, but yet the Sunni make an argument and say we follow the first 4 rightfully guided caliphs. But in the early literature, there is no mention of Ali. Looks like a conspiracy. I'll prove it. We'll go to another reference that Dr. Saeed left. He said, and the best of this Ummah after its prophet is Abu Bakr al-Siddiq, then Uthman, which I think is a typo, should have been Umar al-Khattab, then Uthman ibn Affan. We give precedence to those 3, just as the companions of the messenger of Allah gave precedence to them. Wow. You see how they are leaving out Ali? I thought the Prophet said, Ali, I am the knowledge. I am the city of knowledge, and Ali is the gate. I thought the Prophet said someone has to fight for the interpretation of the Quran like I fought for the revelation of it, and it's Ali. I thought Salma said, I bear witness that I heard the Prophet say the Quran is with Ali. You see how they are squeezing Ali out? You know what Ali had to say about it? Let's get into it. Let's go to the far left. O people by Allah, what they have done is not new. They have conspired against the legacy of the Prophet and twisted the religion away from its axis. That's what it said. Go down to number 3 on the left. You have taken to the path of deviation, abandoned the Sunnah, which they say they get their name from, Sunni, way of the Prophet, and violated the clear book. Let's go to the right. Behold, by Allah, the son of Abu Kuhafa, which is Abu Bakr, dressed him with the caliphate, and he certainly knew that my position in relation to it was the same as the axis on the left-hand side. It was a conspiracy to twist the religion away from its axis on the right-hand side. He said it was the same, and my position is the same as the axis in relation to the hand mill. The flood water flows down from me, and these chicken head birds cannot fly up to me, as my brother Yusuf pointed out. Did Ali call them a chicken head, a bird? I put a curtain against the caliphate and kept myself detached from it. Then I began to think whether I should assault or endure the blinding darkness of tribulation, wherein the grown up are feeble and the young grow old, and the true believers act under strain till he meets Allah. I found that endurance thereof was wiser. So I adopted patience, which is the last attribute of the 99, sabor, although there was a pricking in thy eye and suffocation of the throat. Ali says in his own sermons, there's a conspiracy. These people, been conspiring. That's what he said. And he thought I should go to war and F them up. But I'm looking at the old people and the young people. I'll choose to have patience, although this hurts my eye and it's a suffocation of my throat. Yes, let's move on. Ali says, people have turned away from the truth and inclined towards falsehood. They have preferred worldly leadership to divine guidance. See what's going on here? That's why they squeezed him out. So the term Sunni became widely recognized within this legal theological framework around the 9th to 11th century, solidifying itself under the Abbasid Caliphate. Note it, the 9th and 11th. So then that means the Shia, which is a word used in the Quran, by the way, the Shia at the death of the Prophet said, no, we follow the instructions. We're right here with Ali. There is no 9th, 11th century. We're going to codify and call ourselves Sunni. That's a deviation. The term Sunni is a deviation. Just because it means the way of the Prophet don't mean that you didn't create this thing called Sunniism. That's a deviation. And the Quran is clear that it doesn't like sex. Sectors within it. Yes? So if you came about Johnny come lately, that's a deviation. Okay? In comparison to Shia. So let's look at this. Prophet Muhammad, he's out of here. He makes his transition. Abu Bakr takes his place, then Umar, then Uthman. Now, the Umayyads are Sunni. The Abbasids are going to defeat the Umayyads. They're Sunni, which you just saw the term Sunni really becomes solidified under the Abbasids. The Umayyads are going to fight Ali at the Battle of the Camel. The founder, they're not the Umayyads yet. The founder of the Umayyads is going to join Aisha and fight Ali at the Battle of the Camel because they saying, hey, I don't like how you handling the killers of Uthman, Ali. And you in power, and I don't think you're doing nothing. I'm gonna try to kill you and go to war with you. This is a fact. Okay. Again, as I said earlier, now on the right-hand side is the Prophet's family. Ali, Hassan, Hussein, all of them are family of the Prophet. This is the Shia, who current estimates say only represents 10 to 15% of the Muslim population. The Umayyads are going to kill Hassan by poison. They're going to behead Hussein in 680 in the Battle of Karbala. And this is gruesome because the record says it's about 72 believers that roll with the Prophet's family. All of them are murdered. Not only are they all murdered, after their murder, all of their heads were cut off and put on spears. Hussein has his son, who is only 6 months old, with him. And the record says he asked one of the enemies, can I have some water for my son, who's only 6 months old? And the enemy took an arrow and shot the 6-month-old baby in the throat, killing him, killing Hussein, and cutting off the head of Hussein. This is the history. These are the people who identified as Sunni. Okay? All right. Hassan has a son named Ali ibn Husayn, known as the ornament of the believers. They say he used to pray over 100 times a day. Now, they say he was under tight scrutiny. The one in black is under tight scrutiny. Sunni, actually, the Shia say he still was poisoned. But let's say he wasn't. He has a son known as the splitter of knowledge, Muhammad ibn Ali. He's poisoned. So the Umayyads kill everybody in the red rectangle, all besides Ali ibn Husayn. But the founder of the Umayyads already went to war against Ali, their enemies. Now here comes Jafar al-Sadiq, the sixth Imam. And there's going to be a political switch. The Umayyads will lose power and the Abbasids will come in. That's right, al-Baqir, the splitter of knowledge. The Abbasids will come in and they're going to poison Jafar al-Sadiq. They're going to poison Musa ibn Jafar. They're going to poison Ali al-Ridha. They're going to poison Muhammad al-Taqi. They're going to poison Ali al-Hadi, the guide. They're going to poison Hassan al-Askari. The Abbasids are going to murder them all. In some cases, they say they made the wives do it. Some cases. So all of this murder of the Prophet's family is the part where I say, if you truly love the Prophet, subhanahu wa ta'ala, wallahi, you should be shedding a tear, or your heart, it should be an internal tear at least. You should feel something. Because how can you say you love the Prophet and everybody on the right-hand side who's the Prophet's family was systematically murdered, poisoned, in one case, beheaded? All the believers and friends and family members, out of the 72, they say 17 were family members and the remaining were believers. All beheaded in 680 at Karbala. Everybody else poisoned. And so now, when you go from Imam Jafar al-Sadiq, the 6th Imam, down to the 11th Imam, those 6 Imams, these are the 6 Imams that said, hey, there's a switch in political power. So therefore, the Arabs think, the Quraysh tribe, they think this dominancy that's going on, all this arrogance that's happening within the Arab community over Islam. Islam belongs to everyone. We're going to go get us the black woman. So Jafar al-Sadiq started this. And now in their ideology, which is known as 12er Shia, that's the biggest group of Shia Muslims, they say, hey, all this murder that's taking place, we're going to have to, when we get to the 12th Imam, he needs to be birthed in silence because the enemy is watching. They keep suppressing us. They keep killing us. They're afraid of us. They don't like us for whatever reason. So now we have to give birth basically to a Messiah type of figure, which is called the 12th Imam al-Mahdi. Now the 12ers say he's in hiding. And maybe in another video we get into it. Jafar al-Sadiq has another son that's older than Musa. His name was Ishmael. But he died before his father died. But his following understood his teachings and said, no, we became the Ishmaelis. We don't believe Musa is the next person in line. So then that became a split in ideologies. And their ideology is totally different when it comes to the Mahdi. It's totally different than a physical person who only comes through the bloodline in a sense that's hiding for hundreds and hundreds of years in a cave somewhere. That is not what the other branch of Shia Islam teaches. And that's very interesting because in that branch known as the Ismailis, the Fatimid dynasty was born. And in the Fatimid dynasty, this is the only Shia dynasty that is going to run Africa, run the Middle East as an empire. The Fatimid dynasty. Very interesting. The founder of the Fatimid dynasty. What was his title? Mahdi. Interesting. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, about this light that chooses you. But it is here, ladies and gentlemen, everybody on the right-hand side, that is the Prophet's family, that we must have compassion for and understand the history. Okay? All right. Now, in traditional Islam, Sunni, the Sunnis say, hey, Hanafi came and he was the first one to create what's called fiqh, which means Islamic jurisprudence, what you can do and what you can't do, how you should do it. Maliki came second, although he has the third least followers. Yes. Shafi came third, although he has the second most followers. And Hanbali came last. Yes. Now dig this. The last one of the Sunni schools of thought, yes, Ahmed ibn Hanbal, was indirectly linked to Shia teachings through his teacher. He learned from Imam al-Shafi, the third one to come, who studied under Imam Malik, and both Malik, the second school to come, and Abu Hanifa, the first school to come. They learned from the sixth Shia Imam, Jafar al-Sadiq, the same Imam that is purposely going to go get an African wife. Yes? Watch. So the Sunnis school of thought, their first two schools come from the Shia. Yes? Okay. Let's look at the third school, Shafi. Now enters Nafisa bint al-Hasan, which is like the great-great-granddaughter of Hassan. Hassan is the first son of Ali. Okay? Why is she important? Boy, Muslim women sexy. I don't care what y'all tell me. I'm sorry, I gotta say it. They are. Okay? So listen. Sayyidah Nafisa bint al-Hasan was a renowned Islamic scholar and teacher who significantly influenced the famous Imam al-Shafi, the third Islamic school of Sunni, yes, the founder of the Shafi school of law, who sought her knowledge, guidance, and blessings, even requesting she lead his funeral prayer. She taught him hadith and jurisprudence, holding a very high scholarly and spiritual status with many miracles attributed to her. So what did you just see? Hanafi, the first school, was set directly with Imam Jafar al-Sadiq. The second school, Maliki, set with Imam Jafar, yes. The third school, Nafisa, actually taught him. And the fourth school, indirectly from Jafar and Nafisa, because Hanbali, the fourth school, learned from Shafi. Shafi learned directly from Nafisa, and then he also learned from Maliki, yes, who in return sat with Imam Jafar. So the first four, or the only four, or the main four schools of fiqh, Islamic law, from the Sunnis, are coming to sit with the Shia, which are the family of the Prophet. Alhamdulillah, there's no discrimination. See, that should show us a difference right there between believers of Islam versus political corruptors in Islam. Okay, you're not of the political class that wants to kill us, and you're Muslim and you want to learn. Here go the teachings. records. But I dare say this, the Sunnis didn't get the esoteric teachings. They're hard to find in Shia because it was a closely mouth to ear thing, and then it went to the women, which we're about to get into shortly. Okay. All right. So what did she teach? She taught fiqh. She was highly regarded as an authority in Islamic law. She taught hadith, known as a skilled narrator, expert of hadith. Yes. She taught tasfir, which is the Quranic explanation. She memorized the Quran in all its exegesis, possessing a great intellectual ability to explain the meanings. Yes. Here it is. Tasawwuf, Sufism, and spirituality. Her home was a major gathering place for pillars of the Sufis and the pious people of her time. She was known for her immense piety, asceticism, and God consciousness, embodying the esoteric aspects of the faith. She was given titles such as the Rare Lady of Knowledge and Gnosis, reflecting her deep spiritual understanding and spiritual knowledge. The Sufis, the mystics, came and sat at her house. Do you know, ladies and gentlemen, this is her masjid that's still standing today. Al-Sayyidah Nafisa Mosque in Cairo, Egypt. Masjid right now. This is her shrine inside of the masjid right now. Holy woman of Islam, teacher of the esoteric sciences with her own masjid. Alhamdulillah. So now let's talk about the role of the mothers of the Imams, because remember I showed you that at the very top is their name, and that is the number of the Imam that they are married to. And if you really paying attention, the sixth Imam, she would be the mother of the seventh Imam. The seventh Imam wife would be the mother of the eighth Imam, and so forth and so forth. So what is the role of the mothers of the Imams? Let's bring this up to the stage. The womb as a vessel of divine light, Nur. The spiritual state of the mother directly shapes the soul of the child. They taught that pregnancy is a continuous act of worship. Thoughts, emotions, food, speech, and silence imprints the soul. The womb is a sanctuary, not a biological process alone, and that's in the Quran. And we put it in a well-protected repository. That's what the Quran says about the womb. Number 2, guardianship of the secrets. Primary teaching, not all truth is meant to be public. Hello. Under the Umayyad and Abbasid surveillance, these women taught silence as protection, discernment in the transmission, loyalty without exposure, how to preserve the truth when speaking would destroy it. This teaching culminates in the occultation, which is the hiding of the Mahdi, where the community survives through inward fidelity rather than visible authority. Number 3, recognition of the light and not power. Yes. Divine authority is recognized by the light and character, not age, wealth, or position. Yes. Divine, I'm going to read that again. Divine authority is recognized by Nur, which is light, and character, not age, wealth, or position. Alhamdulillah. And this is why I'm a fan. And when I have my brother on, Sheikh Powhatan Muhammad, and I show you the pictures of the light, and alhamdulillah, somehow, some way, for whatever reason, he chose to give me the light. Allah chose to give me the light when they take pictures with me. I'm on these trips and the light is around me. This is a sacred teaching, or who is who based off bearing the light. Anyway, they train women and indirectly the community to recognize the Iman even when young, hidden, or politically weak. Trust inner certainty. Yaqeen, what I tell y'all in the Golden Heart about certain. It's important. Over public validation. Follow guidance that may appear invisible or contested. Ooh. Number 4, the inner adab. Talking about the spiritual etiquette of the heart. Character is the first form of knowledge. Patience without bitterness. Dignity under humiliation. Restraint of speech. Emotional regulation as spiritual discipline. These qualities later became defining traits of the Imams themselves. Number 5, sacred motherhood as a spiritual station. Primary teaching, motherhood is initiation, not an instinct. Whoa. They taught that raising a child is shaping a spiritual temperament. Early nature forms receptivity to revelation. Early nurture reforms receptivity to revelation. That's a bar. The home is a hidden madrasa, place you come for spiritual knowledge. The teaching passed mother to daughter, especially to figures like Hakima, Khatun. Hakim is wisdom, who later safeguarded the Imam's continuity. Number 6, dream knowledge and inner confirmation. God speaks to the heart when the world is quiet. Many of these women are associated with true dreams, inner reassurance during danger, guidance received without public signs. They taught discernment between ego and dreams, divine dreams, and psychological residue. Number 7, because they was from Africa, in Northwest Africa as well, known as the Maghrib, the Gnostic transmission in many cases. They were described as African or North African, rooted in oral wisdom, memory, rhythm, and silence, teaching through presence rather than exposition. This current later resonates strongly with the Shia spirituality and Sufi transmission, especially in Andalusia, which is Moorish Spain, and the Maghrib. Maghrib is Northwest Africa. And number 8, teaching through embodiment and not text. Say that again. Teaching through embodiment and not text. Primary teaching method. Live the knowledge so it cannot be confiscated. Listen to that. Live the knowledge so it cannot be confiscated. That's why I don't really write books. We want to get down, let's get down and let's talk about it and let's do it, and we can form a curricular, a workbook at most, and let's get busy. Live the knowledge so it cannot be confiscated. Yes, they taught privately. They taught from mouth to ear, orally, through conduct, silence, and example, primarily to women and trusted family members. This is why their teachings survive in the Imams themselves, not in authored books. This is why their teachings survive in the Imams themselves, not in authored books. Core summary, these African women of the Shia Imams primarily taught the womb as a vessel of light, protection of sacred secrets, recognition of true authority, inner adab and emotional mastery. Read that again, woman. Inner adab and emotional mastery. Motherhood as a spiritual science. Dream knowledge and inner certainty. Oral African rooted modes of gnosis, knowledge. Survival of truth through embodiment. Okay? That was the core of these women. Are y'all with me? Isn't that beautiful? Y'all with me? Yes? Y'all with me? Ain't that beautiful? Y'all all right? Because we're going to get in about 2 of them and we're going to end this. Because that's the overall theme overall. So you start getting into all of them and kind of doing the same thing in a sense. Okay? So let me know in the chat. Y'all all right? Bobby will say, y'all all right? Y'all good? All right. And salute to Black Amor Freeman. He said, Imam Ahmed Hanbal, the last school of Sunnis, was killed because he wouldn't fabricate the hadiths in favor of Muawiyah. Muawiyah is the founder of the Umayyads who went to war against Ali. Okay, so y'all know that. All right, let's come on back here. Thank you for sharing that, beloved. So let's get into Zainab bint Ali. Yes, let's get into her real quick. Got a long way. All right. So Zainab, daughter of Ali, taught profound lessons in faith, resilience, and divine knowledge, primarily through her eloquent sermons, especially after Karbala. Remember, Karbala is the massacre. And regular lectures on Quranic interpretation for women, earning titles like Alima, the knower, because Ali means all-knowing, yes, right, which is the root word for Alim, yes. Well, Ali is most high, Alim is all-knower, and Fasiha, eloquent for her wisdom, emphasizing steadfastness, trust in Allah, and preserving the true message of Islam against oppression. So her core teaching and lessons, steadfast and trust in God. Yes, she taught Quranic exegesis. She was a revered scholar, holding sessions in Medina and Kufa to teach women the meaning of the interpretation of the Quran, drawn from her family's deep knowledge. Yes. Preservation of the truth. Her most significant lesson was ensuring the message and sacrifices of Imam Husayn were not forgotten, exposing the tyranny of the oppressors and safeguarding the legacy of Karbala for future generations. The eloquence and wisdom, known for her powerful and clear speech, she reminded people of their religious duty, famously stating, "Whosoever wishes to be at peace on the day of judgment must remain occupied in the remembrance of Allah." Piety and devotion. She was a model of worship, consistently observing nightly prayers. Yo, that's a beast right here, that nightly prayer. Yes, even during extreme hardships, earning the title Abidah, which means devoted. And we're going to get into the first steadfast trust in God when she gives her sermon at Yazid's court. In fact, here it is. Now, let's set the tone. We are at Karbala, ladies and gentlemen. 72 Muslims are killed. 17 are the family members of the Prophet and Ali. Ali's son, which is the Prophet's grandson, Hussein, his head is cut off. His 6-month-old baby shot in the throat with an arrow. So now they capture her, and it's time to come up to Yazid's court. And now we got to have a conversation. This is Yazid and them. Okay? All right. So it reads, as reported by al-Tabari and al-Mufid, the captives were then presented to Ibn Ziyad, who boasted to Zainab about killing Hussein and her relatives, bragging, "I just killed your family member, your brother. I just killed him." She countered by reminding him of the verse of purification in 33:33 and the elevated status of Muhammad's family in the Quran, adding that murder was preordained for Hussein and his supporters, and that God will soon judge between them and Ibn Ziyad. Her response angered the governor, who nevertheless restrained himself after his men told him that a woman cannot be blamed for what she says. You see how they thought about women? So how the oppressive Sunni side of things thought about women versus what was happening over here on the Shia side? Ibn Ziyad also ordered the execution of Ali ibn Hussein, the son of Hussein. Yes, this is the pious one, the one who's known as the ornament of believers, who prayed over 100 times a day, they say. And at the time, he was only like 3 years old, but was dissuaded when Zainab protected her nephew and asked to be killed before him. Are y'all understanding this? As reported by earlier historians. Nevertheless, it didn't happen, okay? So what we're saying here is, whoa, hold on. We're going to bring Zainab into the court of the ruler who just killed your family. And we just killed your brother. Yeah, we beheaded him and whatnot. Killed a little baby. And then she's like, no, don't kill him. Kill me. What? What are you talking about? You see what was going on here? That's a hell of a history. Moving on. Let's get into 2 black women. The first one, is going to be Hamidah Khatun, which is the wife of the sixth Imam Jafar Sadiq. She's going to be mother of Musa, the seventh Imam. Hamidah Khatun was the wife of Imam Jafar al-Sadiq, a mother of the seventh Shia Imam Musa al-Kadhim. She was a pious, knowledgeable woman from the Maghrib, North Africa, who was highly respected by her husband for her religious wisdom and was known as Hamidah the Pure, Qudus. Imam Jafar al-Sadiq would often refer other women to her to learn about Islam, praising her for being removed from every impurity like an ingot of pure gold. Yes. Origin, a slave girl from the Maghrib or Andalus, right? Al-Andalus, again, is more Spain, with some sources specifying Berber origin. Children, she had 3 sons with Imam Jafar al-Sadiq, Musa al-Kadhim, Muhammad, and Isaac, Ishaq, okay? Reputation, known for her piety and religious knowledge. She was sometimes referred to as Hamidah the Pure or Hamidah al-Barbariyyah, the Berber. Legacy, Imam Jafar al-Sadiq trusted her with religious instruction for other women and referred to her as pure and knowledgeable source of Islamic knowledge. The information available indicates that Hamidah Khatun, the wife of the sixth Imam and mother of the seventh Imam, is said to have taught Islamic jurisprudence to women in a seminary in Medina. Additionally, she was highly respected for her religious learning and was described as having wisdom and knowledge of the book and the traditions of the Prophet in the Ahlul Bayt, means Prophet's family. Her husband entrusted her with the responsibility of teaching Muslim women this knowledge. There's a book we don't know about, ladies and gents. Women's jurisprudence with the inner meeting. She was authorized by Imam Jafar al-Sadiq to teach women religious rulings. Crucially, she paired outward law with batin, which is inner wisdom, ritual purity as inner clarity, modesty as guardianship of light, marriage and motherhood as spiritual trust. Shia reports state, refer women to Hamidah, for she is knowledgeable. She also dealt with the transmission of the esoteric trust. As the mother of an Imam, she was entrusted with spiritual conditions of the Imam's birth, the recognition of the divinely guided authority. She taught select women how to recognize the sign of divine leadership, even when hidden or persecuted. Think about that. Think about that skill, that insight you must have. She taught select women how to recognize the signs of divine leadership, even when hidden or persecuted. Wow. Sacred motherhood as a spiritual science. Hamidah taught that the womb is a vessel of light. Motherhood was framed as a station, not merely a role. Preparation for spiritual temperament for future carriers of knowledge. This is advanced womb programming that is really the meaning of Surah Fatiha. Go back to my video on Fatiha. It is talking about programming the womb. Her own life was proof. She raised Imam Musa al-Kadhim, known for his extreme spiritual restraint and inner strength. Let's move on to the last one. Najmah Khatun, wife of the seventh Imam Musa, mother of the eighth Imam Ali, al-Ridha. The womb as a vessel of light. Again, Najmah taught that the spiritual state of the mother shapes the soul of the child. Pregnancy was treated as conditions of zikr, which means the remembrance of Allah. Guarding thoughts, guarding speech, guarding diet and intention. Read that last one again. Guarding diet and intention. Intention. Okay. Her own life is cited because she carried Imam al-Ridha, whose knowledge and forbearance were legendary. Do you know what forbearance means? Forbearance means you have the right to call in something or collect something, but you exercise a mercy and you don't do it, but you have the right to do it. Esoteric principle. The womb is a sanctuary where divine light is refined before entering the world. She also taught dream knowledge. Najmah is associated with true dreams and inner perception. Shia reports mention that her selection and elevation were connected to divinely guided dreams. She taught women how to distinguish true dreams from ego dreams, receive guidance through purity and silence, prepare the heart before sleep. Rose heart. Hidden dua and silent supplication. Her spirituality emphasized quiet invocation rather than public display. She taught dua without asking, presence over petition, invocation synchronized with breath, turning grief into wordless prayers. This current strongly influenced Imam al-Ridha's known qualities as sakina, recognition of divine authority. Najmah was trained to recognize the sign of the Imam authority even before it manifested publicly. She taught select women how to perceive the nur, the light in the character, how to remain loyal when authority is politically hidden. This was crucial during the Abbasid surveillance. The Abdab of suffering and forbearance. Najmah embodied and taught Sabar al-Jamil, beautiful patient. She taught women how to carry the pain without bitterness, transform hardship into interior strength. This trait became central to Imam al-Ridha's spiritual demeanor. She's from North Africa, so then she carries this African current of wisdom that's big on oral memory, mouth to ear, rhythm, repetition, and embodiment, devotion, dance, yes, knowledge preserved through character, not books. This current later resonated with Moorish Spain, that's Andalusian, Moorish Spain, and Maghreb, which is Northwest African Sufism. Okay, and that concludes that. So here's the question. Here's the question. Here's the question. And we definitely gonna have to do a follow-up and address today. The state of Black America. The state of America. Because as you can see, Islam is for all. But I must single out Black America because the Shia singled out Black women on purpose. And when I compare that to what I see in the landscape, I say, oh shit, we got some work to do. One of the works that I find fascinating in this history with these women are the intentional programming of the womb to give birth to a leader. Iman means leader. Iman is only mentioned 12 times in the Quran, and it's interesting. They go by 12 imams at that, right? And I'll get this one up. Shia is only mentioned 12 times as well in the Quran. Okay? Very interesting. So it is the Shia who say we have 12 imams, and both terms, Shia and Iman, are mentioned 12 times in the Quran. This is a science. All right? All right. You better figure out what your potential is with the Mahdi. That's what I find the most intriguing. How can you intentionally create the Mahdi? And we're not going to look at the Mahdi as a historical figure hiding in a cave somewhere. Now, this is where we differ from the Twelvers, and we come over to the Fatimid dynasty or the Ismailis and see what they have to say. And other branches of Shia, what do they have to say? Because they don't agree with that term at all. What work must be done collectively or overall still in the West to create, to preserve, to transfer a higher quality of life. And when I say higher quality of life, I am not necessarily talking about physical things. I'm talking about more of an inner dimension that can become an outer reflection of a society, because I believe was the golden age. And this is the caveat about the history, because it's a pro and con to it. Without the Umayyads, you would not have more Spain. So without these enemies in this conquering conquest of bloodshed that they have, the truth of the matter is Islam wouldn't have made it into Northwest Africa, the Maghreb, nor would have went up into Andalusia, known as Moorish Spain, which, by the way, Moorish Spain separated themselves from the Eastern Caliphate, which we'll figure out why they did that, because they separated themselves from that. So that's interesting. And then when you come down into West Africa, coming down west and going south into Africa, Islam came by trade. It didn't come by arrows. It came by trade. It wasn't enforced upon you. But in the northwest part, it was forced. It was war. So you wouldn't have got certain things had that not happened. And that's just the truth of the matter. So it's a positive and a negative inside of everything. But I am absolutely, and something that sticks to my ear and my memory. It's a brother who got a YouTube. I believe his name is Abdur Rahman. And he said he went to Morocco and met with the Secretary of Education, I believe, the Minister of Education. And they said, based off of their projections, they are waiting for Islam to rise in the West. Now, I have a question. You already had the Nation of Islam and still have the Nation of Islam, and you have Moorish Science Temple of America. Is it a different form of Islam that is supposed to rise in the West? Or is it a synthesis of a collective? What is that? Most importantly, for those who are Muslim in heart and spirit and soul, what is your role? My last comment is going to be, there's a reason, even with the feminine mysteries of the Quran, they're hidden. I show you them. Yes. If I say, they say the night of power, Layla Qadar. Layla means a woman's name. That's what all Layla means, it's a woman's name. In Hebrew, it's actually an angel, a female angel in charge of conception. How about that? Not just a regular female angel. She's in charge of conception, pregnancy. Yes. Same word. The woman is hidden because she carries a very important mission. Womb programming, and then the transmission and the rearing of the child, in that sense. When we just look at that aspect of history. So you have to be protected and hidden. So even if you're not given a physical birth, what is the spiritual birth in that intention that you can project and give to the one, if you have that discriminatory light, Fukan, yes, that light, know how to discriminate and be able to find that nur, the light, to say, I shall pour into this human being, this man, this woman, this sister, this brother, I shall pour into this. Some work to do. That's some work. And men, that's some work to do. Some work to do. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Black or more freedom. Listen, man, let's do it. Where my headphones at, man? Because I really appreciate you chiming in with me. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Click that. Click on that. Let's do that. All right. So every Sunday we hold a class. Tuesdays is Arabic. Sunday we hold a class. It's way more intimate, fun. We call it the Golden Heart. I'll call it out the hobby the Golden Heart, where we get into various practices of really, as the mission statement will say. Who can say the mission statement off the top of their head? Who know the mission statement? Who can type in that mission statement in the chat off the top of their head? To discover and surrender to the will of God by opening and purifying the heart, whereas our soul may expand in the light of God, making our lives truly fulfilled. That's the mission. To discover and surrender to the will of God, you got to discover that. You don't know what that is. I see you, beloved. I'm about to bring you up. You got to discover that. Then once you discover it, then you got to surrender it. But how do you do that? By opening and purifying the heart. Purification don't come first. You have to open. That's what purifies it, to get the toxins out. Got to open it up, get that pus out, get those old emotions out. You got to open it like the fire hydrant I keep giving reference to. So by opening and purifying the heart, whereas our soul may expand with the light of God. Now I'm open. Now I'm expanding. And that expansion makes what? My life becomes truly fulfilled. That's the mission. That's the mission. All right. What's up, E? Let me see. Hold on. Let me get this off the screen. Let me bring the brother up. Let me see where. Boom. There you go. What's up, beloved? Isa al Askari. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What's up, brother?
Alaikum salam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How you doing, brother? Man, I finally was able to get up here, man.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. What's happening with you?
Man, good. I just got back in town. I'm from Chicago, but I reside in Milwaukee.
Yeah. That's what's up. The mill. Okay. I think next week, man, I was gonna do a lecture called A Spiritual Message to Chicago. But at the end of the month, I'm gonna remix it and do a spiritual state of the union that absolutely has Chicago in it, because I think it's a reason all y'all, majority of my brothers and sisters with me is from Chicago. I used to live in Chicago. And so I'm like, what are you telling me about Chicago? And then I know that Chicago is the equivalent to Rome on the map. And they're on the same parallel and whatnot. I said, okay, that's what you're telling me. So I'm going to do something called the Spiritual State of the Union. But go ahead, beloved. What's happening?
Yeah, I just be listening. Because, brother, you the first brother, well, I would say second, other than the brother that I know named Kamisha Adept that be online, that come from a more science background, but dwell into the teachings of the Ahlul Bayt.
Yeah.
And dwell hard. That's why I was like, man, this brother is on it. You see me in the comment section. I'm like, this brother got me on fire. And you know, I converted to Islam when I was 12 years old.
Oh,
so I had to. I remember I went to the masjid. It's called Masjid al-Rahman up here in Milwaukee.
Okay.
And I was 12 years old, and the imam was like, "Man, I'm not giving you your shahada." He's like, "You got to go get a permission letter from your mother. I can't be just converting people, children out here. You a preteen."
Right.
But you know, my mom was always understanding.
That's beautiful.
And I was Sunni at first.
Okay.
You know, and then eventually I became Salafi because that was what was pushed.
That's big in Philly. The whole everybody in Philadelphia they ain't gonna Salafi, bro. Yep.
Yeah. And then at 18, what happened was I was waiting outside to go to Juma at the mosque. And there was a brother sitting in the car. So, you know, I got in the car, I seen his Zul Vakar and everything. And I'm like, man, brother, you a Shia? He like, yeah. So, you know, typical Wahhabi, you know what I'm saying, explaining. I get to calling him Rafidas, and you do bid'ah, you worship the Imams, everything that I was told. You know what I'm saying? When I say, listen, I'm 36 years old. Okay. I've had a lot of religious, you know what I'm saying, debates and topics. My whole life, I have never been beat up intellectually as I was in that car. That brother, and the brother straight told me, he was an Iranian brother. He said, man, listen, He said, I hope you don't take no offense to this. And this is before he really brung the Dalil. He said, man, listen, for you to be a black American man, he was like, to be a Sunni is a shame.
Shame. Wow.
So I was like, man, hold up. So, you know, I got to studying and studying and studying. I got hold to Najib Balaga, but the book that opened everything up for me was Kitab al-Sulaim.
Okay.
You know, that tell you exactly what happened after the Prophet, how they hijacked it, how Abu Bakr sent the police out. He did what the white folks did to us. You know what I'm saying? Because he formed the first police in Arabian society, and it was to suppress the family.
Right, right. Do me a favor, type that book in the chat or spell it out so I can write it out.
Okay, it's Kitab al-Sulaim. And then what else I wanted to show you also, this Quran.
Wait a minute, hold on. Let me see if I can bring you to the screen by yourself. Hold on. Let me see.
I think you got it upside down, stuff a lot.
Okay, what Quran is it?
This is the Mahdi Puya version, the Ayatollah Mahdi Puya version. This is the only Shia commentary Quran when all the commentary is from the Ahlul Bayt, and it all comes from Bihar al-Anwar and Kitab al-Kafi and the Usul of Imam Jafar al-Sadiq alayhi salam.
Yeah.
But this book is it's grand. It's grand as far as interpretation. But when you were going on the Imams, let me see if I can. Okay. I have the list of the Imams. Oh, I think I got.
No, you had it the right way.
Okay. Okay. It just looks like that from my end. Okay.
Yeah.
But
there you go. I see it.
You see the list and you see their mothers. Then starting with Imam Jafar al-Sadiq.
That's right. Arabia.
All from Africa, Somalia,
man,
Egypt.
Beloved, that is a jewel.
And this side shows you each Imam's ethnicity.
Yeah, I see it.
Once it gets to Imam Jafar al-Sadiq, after he marries,
there you go.
Habiba, he becomes 50% African. Imam al-Ridha was 75%. Jawad was 87%. Imam al-Hadi was 93%. Imam al-Askari was 96% African. Imam al-Mahdi was 98% African.
Wow. Yeah.
So you know, when you going through this, I'm like, man, it's just so good that people are hearing this hawk. A lot of people don't understand what happened to Islam. When Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when he died, the people that he fought his whole life, who his family had an ancient rivalry with, you know what I'm saying? The clan of Hashem versus Umayyad, not the clan Umayyad, the original person Umayyad, who was adopted by the Arab tribe, and he was actually a Roman.
Right.
And these are the people that the Prophet fought his whole life. He said, the Prophet, there's a hadith, and you can find this in Sunni books. He said, if you find Muawiyah on my minbar, delete him. That's what he said. And Abu Sufyan, you know, this is the person whose wife ate Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu uncle liver.
Wow.
Hind. You know what I'm saying? She ate his liver. She hired I always forget his name. I think it was Warish or Wakish or something like that, to spear Hamza, and she ate his liver. These are the people that took over Islam after the Prophet died. The Prophet told certain people, like who was the man that was around Uthman? It was a man that was around Uthman, and the Prophet kicked him out of Mecca.
Right. Yeah. Uthman brought him back. Yeah.
And he said, don't ever allow him back. Uthman put him in power. The same people that the Prophet was fighting, the pagans, the Umayyads, all of them came to power and wrote the Sunni religion.
Right.
And the Abbasids came to power by saying that they would
Help the Shia.
return the
That's right.
caliphate
That's
back
right.
to the Ahlul Bayt
Right. Right. And traded on them. That's right.
and traded on them. And this
Yep.
is why, in the word of Islam, and this is no disrespect to the brothers, I don't want them to take this as a disrespect, but this is truth. Every Sunni country is subjugated. The only people who are fighting back against the devil himself that resides in a certain place, if you know what I'm talking about, you
Mm-hmm.
know, I just don't want to, you know how they
Yeah.
do it when you
Mm-hmm.
mention them people, they flag you.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
that is why the only people that's fighting them people are all Shia.
That's right.
Iran, Shia. Lebanon, Shia. Yemen, Zaidi, but still Shia.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? The
That's
only people that are fighting them people that are Sunni is the Philistines themselves.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But everybody else is subjugated, and it is because they didn't follow who Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said to follow. He said, Ana Medinatul Im Aliun Babua. I am the city of knowledge, and Ali is its gate. He said, Man kunta Mawla fi Aliun Mullah. Whoever I am master, this Ali is also master.
That's right. That's
My
right.
Sunni brothers, they love to say, no, he was talking about friend.
Yeah.
Because
You
Mawla
know.
can also mean friend. This is
Yeah.
how
Right.
you very
Right.
quickly dispel that. And this is just for the listeners, in case you ever bring this up to somebody and they say that to you. The Sunnis say that the Prophet's last sermon was at Hajj.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't. That's a lie.
Correct.
His last sermon was at a place called Gadir Kum.
That's right.
He told the believers in the front to come back. He told the believers in the back to come front. They made a minbar out of hundreds of saddles.
Mm-hmm.
Ali and Prophet Muhammad climbed to the top. And just like if I say, Brother Anpu, man, that brother is the lion of YouTube. Do I mean that he's actually an African lion sitting on YouTube? No,
Right.
it's
Right.
context.
Right.
The Prophet said, O Muslims, do I not have more authority over you than you yourselves?
That's correct. That's
The
absolutely
Muslims
correct.
answered yes.
Mm-hmm.
Then he made the statement,
That's
Man
right.
kunta mawla fi aliun mullah. Whoever I am master, this Ali is also master.
Yes, sir. I got that hadith. I got that hadith. And that's
Yes,
in
sir.
their hadith as well.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's in their hadith. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But the people, it's like, it's been so much propaganda, and they did a wonderful job with the propaganda. Because, like one of my favorite scholars, brother, the Imam Saeed Amr Nakshwani.
Yes, yes, man. Yes. He don't want to put me on, man, for real.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. I met that brother plenty of times.
Mm-hmm.
He says that you think CNN and Fox is false news. You ain't got nothing on the Umayyad and the Abbasids.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because the Umayyads, man, they'd find out like, oh, your name Ali? Oh, okay. Well, come over here with us real quick, there.
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing you know, your head on a spike.
Yes, yeah.
They
Right.
cursed Imam Ali for 60 years from the minbar.
On Fridays.
Yes, sir.
Every Friday they did it to him.
And that was started by Muawiyah, who the
That's right.
Sunnis call a scribe of the Prophet.
Man.
It is
Disrespect.
crazy. And you know what really, and what also opened it to me when I looked into the books and I said, hold on. Abu Huraira was only around the Prophet for the last 3 to 4 years of his life.
Mm-hmm.
He got more hadith than anybody.
Mm.
How? How you got more hadith than Ali?
Correct.
Who was,
lived with the Prophet 30 plus years.
he said, I used to follow the Prophet around like a baby goat follows its mother.
Right.
Born in the Kaaba.
Right.
I tell the people, I said, man, he used to feed Ali. He used to chew his food and feed him. As soon as you be like, man, you extreme. That don't mean nothing. I said, bro, you don't understand the miraculous the properties of prophets. Didn't the Prophet Muhammad take his spit, wipe it in Ali's eye, and he was cured?
Right.
So
Right.
what do you think that is? That is a transfer of ilm. That is a transfer of knowledge.
Yes.
You know, and a lot of these people don't understand it, but I'm so glad that you online, brother, and that you could present this hawk to the people.
Hey man,
because on
I'm
Judgment Day, you don't even get across the bridge of Sirat if you don't have that validation, that passport from Ali.
right, right.
That's how.
Hey, I'm where your page at, brother? Shoot,
Oh
God,
no,
cause like I started, I say that. Listen, I'm not no historian. I may be an enthusiast because I'm interested in things that I'm interested in, and I'll tell the truth when I see it. But far as you got this thing locked and loaded, so I'm like, where your page at? What's happening?
well, I don't. I'm a sous chef by trade,
Okay, okay,
and I work 6 days a week. You know
okay.
what I mean? So sometimes I really, really only got one day of free time. But when
Mm-hmm.
I come online, I do discuss with a lot of brothers. And most of my work is done in real time because I like to be up and close with brothers.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
like to have my books and my material so I can show them.
Correct.
Because most brothers, the only thing that they've been taught is the lies. The first thing,
Yeah,
the same thing I was taught: Shia
yeah,
Rafida, Shia innovators,
yeah,
Shia Imam worshipers.
yeah, yeah.
And then I tell the people, like like I'll be talking to like my Nation of Islam brothers,
Mm-hmm.
and I be like, yo, no offense. I said, man, you keep talking about Allah is man and man is Allah. I said, that is true. Because Imam Ali said, you will never see Allah. And then they said, how can you worship a Lord you cannot see? He said, I haven't seen him with these eyes. I've seen him inside of me in the certainty of this heart.
Right,
You
right.
know what I'm saying? So I understand, but I said, man, I said to the people, there is a reason, and the stock for lie is not right, but there is a reason why people worshipped Ali.
Mm. Yeah,
Everybody else, even the prophet, nobody really worshiped, but people seen Ali and was like, yo,
yeah,
if I ever met God, this gotta be it.
yeah. I
Because
mean,
of how righteous he was.
yeah, and according to the prophet, he's the one that's responsible for the interpretation of the Quran. That's heavy, man. That's almost more heavier than the actual revelation of it. What good is the revelation of it if you don't understand it?
Yes,
You
sir.
understand what I'm saying? So to be saying he's responsible for the interpretation of it, whoa, everybody better sit down and
And do
start
you know
doing
what
the
I'll
work.
tell the people too? You know the difference between Ali and everybody. This is how you know he is first and everybody else is second, except the prophet.
Mm-hmm.
I said, man, listen, everybody that has an attribute of Allah, they got to put Abdul in front of their names out of respect.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Ali is the only person
yeah,
that has an attribute of Allah, and that's just his name.
yeah.
And that was given to him when he was born inside the Kaaba. The history, even the Sunni books tell you that the Kaaba miraculously split open. His mother Fatima, which is another big thing, because you
Right,
see these Fatimas all
right.
around and everyone is righteous.
Yep, yep.
And she goes in, gives birth for 3 days inside the Kaaba. And when she comes out, she says that Allah told me to name him Ali.
Wow, wow.
So, and they said, how did you survive? How did you sustain yourself? She said, I am more superior than Mary, the mother of Jesus.
Mm,
They people was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. How can you say that? Because she said that Mary asked Allah and she shook the leaves and got the figs to feed herself and her child.
right.
She said, but Allah came down himself through the angels to feed me directly
Directly.
with food from Jannah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's heavy. That's heavy, man. That's heavy. Yeah, man. You got to give me the and put those books if you don't mind. Drop them in the chat for me. That Quran, and I think I got a note last time you put it over there, but I done packed up some stuff. So if you can drop that in the Quran,
Yes,
and
sir.
and yeah, both, especially the book with the genealogy in there. Is that's the same Quran? That was in the Quran, the genealogy.
Yeah, that's in the Quran.
Oh my God, yeah, definitely drop that
Also,
in that Kitab.
Kitab al-Arshad, the
Yeah.
book into the life of the 12 Imams.
Uh-huh.
And you also have to have, and these, for me, these are classics. The Kernel of the Colonel by
Okay.
Allama Tabatabai. That is Sufism through the Ahlul Bayt's eyes.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay.
And I'm gonna drop links for all of these books
I
in
appreciate
the
it.
chat.
Yeah.
Hakua Yakin, a
Uh-huh.
compendium of 12 beliefs. It gives you every Ifna Ashari 12 belief, the reasons behind it, the dalil behind it, and the source for it.
Right. Right. And put the first one back up on the front of it.
Was that the Kitab al-Irshad?
Yeah.
A book of life into the guidance of the life of the 12 Imams?
Okay.
That's by Sheikh al-Mufid.
Okay. Gotcha. I think I got I think I was actually about to get that, and then it mentioned it was on Audible, and I got a credit, and I was like, I think I'm gonna get it on Audible so I can listen to it.
Now, when it comes to Sufism through the eyes of the Ahlul Bayt, this is another one, but this is heavy, heavy stuff when it comes to his works.
Right. Cool, man.
Sadr al-Din al-Shirazi,
Okay.
Transcendent Theosophy. This little book I've had for about 8 years. I've read it over probably 40, 50 times, to be honest. I'm still breaking down the first 30 pages of it.
Yeah, one of them.
It is very heavy. And last but not least, of course, you have to have Kitab al-Kafi.
Yeah. I got I got the digital on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If you want any of those books, like I said, I'll drop the link in the back. But there's a place online called Ansarian.org.
Okay.
And the books come directly from the Hausa in Iran in Mashhad, or they come directly from the Hausa in Najaf, where Ali al-Sistani is.
Okay.
Oops, excuse me, I'm gonna drop my phone.
Okay.
Also, this one.
What's that? Sun at Midnight?
Yep. The Revealed Mysteries of the Ahlul Bayt Sufis.
Oh, and look, that's a woman right there, ain't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, that's Fatima.
Yeah. The Sun at Midnight, the Revealed Mystery. Man, stop playing. Hey, beloved, you have absolutely blessed me and us today.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to share everything that I got, man. Like I said, I drop links for all of them in the chat, you know, so brothers and sisters can look them up. You know what I mean? But I had to join because I'm like, man, this brother, I've never really seen too many brothers really touch on the Ahlul Bayt like that. You know what I'm saying? Not unless they were like Shia themselves, but it's like it's not enough.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I tell my more science brothers, I said, man, you brothers acknowledge that your branch of Islam is Sufiic in nature. Every Sufi order recognizes as its spiritual head Imam Ali.
That's right.
And that's one of the reasons why Noble Jew Ali, may Allah be pleased with him and peace be upon him. That's why he took that name. That's a powerful name.
That's right. Absolutely. Well, man, thank you, beloved, man. I appreciate you, man. And hey, man, I look forward, man. Stay in contact, definitely, man. You can you know, my email is my name at Gmail. You know what I'm saying? So just shoot me your number, then that way I can link up with you. We can text, talk, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, shoot me an email at Noble Anpu. Shoot me an email, Noble at Gmail.
I just want to show you. You see, I got the 12 Imams tattooed on both of my arms.
Yo, beloved. So I was just telling my people, I was like, listen, so I'm a actually podcast in my back room. And I said, I'm actually about to put their names all on this particular wall right here. You know what I mean?
Sir.
Because this particular room right here is going to be my Imam room right here. You know what I mean? And I had a beautiful experience the other night in Dream World. They showed me somebody. And the next day, when this person's name, the next day when I woke up that morning, and I got back on the trail of studying, this person was a student that this person's who was in my dream, that person was a student of Imam Jafar al-Sadiq. And that was the confirmation that I was looking for, because I'm in my, what I call a galactic Ramadan right now, simply because where we at in position, the holy days, but this is because the sun is appearing to go in directly in front of the Milky Way center, which is December the 18th, which coincidentally the next day that the comet is going to be closest to Earth. But anyway, I did it last year, about 34 days from December the 8th to January the 10th is for me is my spiritual time to go in and just really pick up on the frequency that's coming through and whatnot. And yeah, I was able to tap into the E-man that way and whatnot, man. But you a confirmation because I said I'm gonna put them on my wall. You know what I mean? Because I know and see the Nation of Islam. This whole science of the 12 scientists in the Mahdi, that whole 12 in Mahdi is Shia, and they have no clue. They have no clue. That's Shia.
where they got, like, people don't understand that in all actuality, Master Farad Muhammad was from Pakistan, from a Shia majority city. And that esoteric knowledge that he was talking about, it comes from a book, a Shia Sufic, almost like masonry book. You know what I mean? And a lot of that people don't understand comes from Ikhwan al-Safa. You know, and they just don't know that. You know, but Farrakhan has picked up on that because he's gave a couple of speeches about the hidden imam and things like that. So he's kind of picked up on that. But I'm like, man, if you gonna go toward any kind of so-called orthodoxy, I'm like, man, you need to take your members to the school of the Ahlul Bayt because that aligns perfectly with your theology because that's really where it comes from.
Yeah. All day. Did I see a seal of Solomon on your finger?
Oh, yes, sir.
I thought I did. Okay. I thought I did. Yeah, that's a confirmation. Yes, sir.
Sir. I love my Islamic jewelry. As you see, I got the Zulfikar and the Keekstone.
Yeah.
And then I also got the matching on the wrist.
Yes, sir. Cool beans, man. But cool, man. I'm gonna wrap it up and get out of here. Drop those in the chat and please shoot me an email with your phone number, nobleampu@gmail. You know.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna send that to you in about 5 minutes.
Okay, appreciate you, beloved. Thank you, man.
Thank you so much, brother. Assalamu alaikum, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam, brother. All right, y'all. All right, man. Man, you talking about books on books. He remind me of when I went to truck driving school and I had a brother named Alim. And he would be the one who introduced me to Ahlul Bayt when we went to go see Ahlul Bayt in person. He had all these books. He like, yeah, I know where you going. Give me all these books and just like, I don't even understand this stuff. You know what I mean? Then later I would understand it, man. So beautiful to see a wealth of knowledge and whatnot. All right. But yeah, join me, man. I'm in the Patreon Noble Anpu. Sunday classes is great. We doing finals, but if you come in, it's okay. Yeah, I ain't gonna beat you up. It's all right. You got some space. I'm gonna give you some room. And then Tuesdays at 8 o'clock. We do Arabic, and we salute to my man B, one of my moderators in the Patreon. He also created a module for you to simply go on the computer and take the Arabic test, and it's just the alphabet. That's all you're doing. And like I said before, you know, on the third week they was already reading words and names and stuff and breaking it down and whatnot, and they was reading words, transcribing the word before they even knew the alphabet in its totality, far as like totality meaning you don't never miss a letter. So when you take the test, you get 100. That's the protocol. You got to get 100. All right. That way you know it and whatnot. So before they even was scoring on 100, the few letters that they did get, they were able to read words and break it down. And that's to show you how, you know, learning is just fun. It's just a beautiful thing, man. All right. So anyway, they go to first book, Mahdi, pull your Quran. He's dropping them in the chat. Keep on dropping them, brother. Again, I appreciate y'all. And we'll be making a playlist pretty soon to deal with the Black women in history in Islam and whatnot. All right. So I'm going to leave y'all with what prayer we going out. The prayer that we have is going to be the Night of Power. And again, you would have to really understand that video I did with the Night of Power, because that's really talking about a woman. Okay. All right. So I will see y'all on the next one. All right. Peace.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر ليلة القدر خير من 1000 شهر تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر